Welcome to TAD Talks, where every week I sit down with my dad and sustainability expert Tad Radzinski to ask him questions about sustainability topics. So first we'll do a little introduction of Tad. So why don't you introduce yourself and just your history with sustainability.
Okay. Hello everybody, I'm Tad Radzinski and I'm the president and one of the founders of Sustainable Solutions Corporation, which is a sustainability consulting firm. I also am one of the co-founders and owners of Green Circle Certified, which is a third-party certification company that certifies sustainability and operations claims for different products and manufacturers. I've been involved in sustainability for quite a while, and I'll tell a little more about that in a minute. I am also an adjunct professor at Villanova University. I helped create our Master's in Sustainable Engineering program that launched in 2010. I've been teaching as an adjunct professor since 1998, and I presently teach an advanced life cycle assessment class and introduction to sustainable product innovation, as well as a sustainable buildings and operations class.
Awesome. So what inspired you to get into sustainability?
So I was working at the Environmental Protection Agency. I was hired as their waste minimization national expert, and that was in 1997. And I had to run this big conference. I was only there like a month, and they said, you got to run this waste minimization conference, and you're basically the organizer, the master of ceremonies, and all that kind of thing. So at the time, I was trying to figure out who would be my keynote speaker, and there was a guy by the name of Ray Anderson, who is the founder, the owner, and the CEO of Interface Corporation, which is a company that makes carpet tiles and different things. And in the middle 90s, he started really looking at sustainability. He read a book by Paul Hawken called The Ecology of Commerce, and it just motivated him so much to think about how he had to change his company, because he felt like he was basically raping and pillaging the earth. That's basically what he said. So I got him to be my keynote speaker for the Waste Minimization Conference. I got to meet him and spend time with him, eating dinner and breakfast and everything. And he was so amazing that when he spoke, we had over 1,000 people at this conference, and basically a standing ovation. And I was just so inspired by him that I decided I want to do this for my life's work. And that was 1997, so I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I just knew I wanted to do it. So It was great.
Awesome. So if we go back to the basics of sustainability and just starting off with this first video, what is sustainability?
So when people think about sustainability, they automatically probably think about protecting the environment or the environment. And that is definitely an important aspect of sustainability. However, there's three key areas in sustainability. We want to think about this, actually call it triple bottom line. And we think about sustainability from improving the environment or reducing our impact on the environment. We also think about sustainability on doing really good for social or society, helping people, and also thinking about other species on the planet too. And then there's another leg which we call improving economic performance. So again, triple bottom line, a simple way to say that is people, planet, and profit. And what you have to do when you're thinking about sustainability is try to get all three of those things working in harmony, so you're getting to that sweet spot that we call sustainability. And sustainability is important not only for corporations and companies, but for all of us. We should be thinking about how can we live a more sustainable life. And you can step back and say, well, I definitely want to reduce my environmental impact. I also want to obviously earn a good living and have a good life from an economic perspective, and I want to do well with society and help people. So that's a great way to look at it, and it is something that's really important, that triple bottom line aspect.
Definitely. And why would you say sustainability is so important today?
Well, if we look at where we are, basically the world is growing. There's a lot more people on the planet right now. We're really blessed. We have great life. I mean, we've got all the material wealth we would ever want. We have a nice home, and we've got a great place to work and great companies. but there's a lot of people on the planet that don't have that. You know, they're aspiring to get there. So you have these developing countries like China and India where they're rapidly developing. There's many people coming out of, you know, basically maybe hard work and poverty to middle class lifestyles. And basically we have to think about, well, that's awesome and we want everybody to have a good life, but how do we go about supporting all these people and giving them the things they need? And you know, we as a species on the planet are definitely having an effect. I mean, you know, whether you believe in climate change or not, I can tell you that we are affecting a major cycle on the planet called the carbon cycle. So by taking fossil fuels out of the ground and we burn them and we release carbon in the atmosphere, we basically offset the balance. And because of the rapid growth in population, people want to have the same kind of lifestyle that we have here in the United States, as well as other developed countries, which there's only about 2 billion of us that really live that way, and there's 7.6 or 7 billion people on the planet right now. So you rapidly have another group of people that want to live the same way we all do. And let's think about it too. We are so dependent on the life support systems and everything that the planet provides to us that we have to care, because you know, whether you know, with climate change and global warming and all the impacts that are happening, more frequent storms. We're in a pandemic right now, which is just crazy. So it's imperative that we all care and think about how we can do things differently, whether you're a company, a corporation, or just a person, because it's just the way we have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And who would you say has the biggest impact on sustainability? Would you say corporations or people as themselves?
Well, I think it's a combination. I mean, definitely you're going to have corporations and big businesses that can really drive change because they can do that rapidly. They have the money and they have the know-how. You know, right now I'm so excited. There's sustainability is like a major thing for many companies. The thing we can't count on is government. Basically, government takes a long time. You know, there's all these politics that are happening in the world, and they're not going to drive the change. I think that companies and corporations, just like Ray Anderson in 1995 when he started this journey, and he came out in 1997 to announce that they wanted to be a sustainable company, they still march to that interface. But now there's more and more companies that are jumping on it, and you got companies that are committed to, you know, reducing their carbon footprint, being carbon neutral, buildings that have lower embodied carbon, you know, really thinking about how they're going to create jobs for people and do good for the world. So I think the companies and the corporations are going to do it. However, every one of us has a role as well. You know, the decisions we make, the things we purchase, the companies we support, you know, all of that has an effect because every one of us creates environmental impact. Every one of us has a role in society, and every one of us is driving this big economic machine that is going to, you know, basically give us the lifestyles that we want. So I think the corporations will do it. I also think that we have a role because we have a lot of power, because we buy things from these companies and we vote and we make decisions, and we basically just have a role that if everybody thought about that, I think we could really make some great change in the world.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And thank you for taking the time to sit down and chat about these topics and get a little more education out into the world. So next week we are going to talk about, go more in depth on the role of corporations and businesses in helping build a sustainable future for all.